Now, if you've been around long enough, you've probably seen courses that promise you that you can get rich quick, that you can achieve passive income and picture the life of sipping on martinis by the beach if you just follow their 90 days system. And I was even guilty once of buying a course that teaches you how to get rich by selling a course on how to get rich, and I did all that. So guilty as charged. And after spending 13 years searching for a quick way to get rich quick, I found none. And the irony is that if I did not search for a quick way from the start, I will be much more further in life right now, because I've wasted so much time chasing shiny objects and non-important material stuff. So if there's one thing I hope that you can get from this video, is that there's no such thing as a get rich quick scheme. Even if there is, it is not sustainable and it will destroy you with lifestyle inflation. There was even a period of my life I managed to fool myself into thinking that I would just make easy money and then invest those money for long term. And guess what? That was the biggest BS I told myself. Because if you can make easy money, your mindset is that you will spend it because you don't know how to value that easy money. So stop looking for easy money, because even if there is, it is not sustainable. Now, even though I've done some really wrong things that has wasted so much of my life, and I did that because I didn't have the right people to guide me and the right mentors that had my best interests at heart. But I've also done some things right. You know, after 13 years of just trial and error, you at least get one or two things right. And to the point that today I may not be very rich like some people I know or you know, but I don't have to worry about money in my personal and my family life ever. I have enough money to survive over a decade if I stop everything I'm doing right now, which I probably will not. Now, even if I will lose all my business, I can still command a high price just being a freelancer because of what I can produce for businesses. Now, of course, that's just an example, because I probably will not stop what I'm doing because I enjoy what I do. And I didn't come from a rich family, nor do I have any strong education. In fact, I dropped out of my diploma at age 19. I only have O-levels in Singapore. And in Singapore, if you only have O-levels, some people would call you a failure. So I've compiled these lessons and here to share with you how there's no such thing as get rich quick scheme. You cannot be rich in a few years, but you can be rich and retire in 10 years. And this is a plan that anybody can follow no matter what's your current circumstances. Now, 10 years may seem quick, but it isn't really, because not many people are willing to commit to a plan for 10 years without deviating from it and chasing other shining objects. So before I go into the plan of how you can retire in 10 years or less, please help to hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm and consider subscribing to this channel. As an entrepreneur, a husband, and a dad, life can get tough and busy, so I'm on a journey to master 3 areas of my life, and that's business, investing, and productivity. Every week I post videos revealing marketing hacks I've used to build 7 to 8 figure businesses online, what I'm currently investing, and productivity hacks to do more with less. So if you're into any of that stuff, please consider giving a subscribe to my channel. So let's get back to this 10-year plan. What is this 10-year plan? We're going to break down to 3 simple steps. Step number 1, retirement sum. Now, retirement is when your passive income from your investments cover all your monthly living expenses. Therefore, you do not have to work a single day anymore. You only work because you want to, not because you have to. So all you gotta do is to use the 5% rule. So what it means is that if you only need $5,000 a month, using a 5% rule, meaning that your investments can provide you only 5% a year to cover all your living expenses. So if you take 5,000 or whatever your monthly expenses is, multiply by 12, which is 12 months, that's 60 grand. Multiply that by 20, that will give you 1.2 million. When you finally have $1.2 million and you can invest that 1.2 million and get a 5% return every single year, it covers your $60,000 for the year, which is $5,000 a month. Now, this is your magic number, and most people don't even know what is the number they need to retire. And by the way, please take note that I said calculate all the things that you and your family need. Remember, I said need first, not wants. That will come later. You need a small roof over your head. You do not need a massive house you cannot afford and be drowned into debt. In fact, you can just rent it at the start. You need transport, but you don't need a sports car. You can take public transport, or if you live in places that need a car, just get the cheapest car. Be super careful of lifestyle inflation. It creeps in very subtly when you are starting to do better. Because as you start making more money, you're going to start looking at your friends on Instagram who is forever on vacation and they are always buying expensive stuff. And you unconsciously start to compare yourself to them, forgetting your main goal. You will suddenly think you need a lot more things, maybe to make you feel more significant. Now, you don't. It is all a lie. It is a big distraction distraction. Your first goal is to take care of all your needs and your family needs first. The want can come later, much later. In fact, if you upgrade your lifestyle too fast, it will destroy you. Plan out your needs and your expenses for the month. An example could be $5,000 a month. That is already a lot of money to most people. If you want to go $10,000 a month, no problem, I understand that. But when you need $20,000 or $30,000 per month, that's BS. Because you don't need that much money. And if you do, then congratulations, you were like me in the past. You are now stuck in what I call a lifestyle inflation. Remember I said to be super careful, because once you have upgraded to a business class too often and too quick, it's hard to go back to economy and even feel happy. Am I saying that people in economy cannot be happy? No, I was happy in economy until I upgraded to business class too fast, too quick, and now I have more needs to meet my base level of happiness, and that slows you down. Do not upgrade until you have absolutely enough money from investment to cover your every need. See, because of my past, I earned money too fast and I upgraded too fast. I was living in big houses and big cars that I couldn't afford to keep up. And today, because of that, I needed some kind of base level of happiness. Now today, I need about $15,000 a month, and that sucked because I could have compounded that money and become a lot richer and a lot faster. Just to give you an example of what I mean by a lot. If you only need $5,000 a month and you're making $10K a month, so instead of spending everything, you're investing the additional $5,000 a month for 20 years compounded at just 10% a year, which will give you an addition $4 million. Now, if I know what I'm doing, I can compound that money at 20% a year, and that's $15 million after 20 years. And this is just by investing and saving additional $5,000 a month. So let's come back to the numbers. If you only need $5,000 a month and using the 5% rule, meaning that if your investment provides you only 5% a year return, to cover all your living expenses, that's 5,000 multiplied by 12, which is $60,000, multiplied by 20, that will give you about $1.2 million. You only need $1.2 million to retire. That means you don't have to think about your needs anymore. You can do anything you want after that. Now, I know for some of you, you think that $1.2 million is a lot to you, but I will get to that later on. But here's the thing, just to give you a comparison. Now, because I need $15,000, now I need $3.6 million just to retire, just to cover my basic needs. And we haven't even talked about the upgraded ones later. This is the reason why you don't upgrade too fast. And when you upgrade too fast, you need an even larger retirement sum just to feel the base level of happiness and to cover your basic needs. I'll probably go in depth and cover the lifestyle inflation topic in another video somewhere here once it's done. Step 2, work hard to increase your active income. See, once you know the numbers you need to retire, let's say you need $5,000 a month, that means that you need $1.2 million in your retirement saving. Now, all you gotta do right now is to focus on your active income. Stop buying into this BS of passive income. Passive income is a lie. The only way you can get passive income is that you earn more active income and then invest a big amount of the active income instead of spending on stupid crap. So how do you increase your active income? Focus on 1 or 2 skill sets that you can use to generate high income. Focus on a skill set that brings massive value to people and not just based on the hours you put in. So what do I mean by massive value? And people always ask me, how do I know how much to charge? You see, I charge based on how much value I can bring to the businesses that I'm charging money for. If a business pays me $10,000 to write a copy for them, and I believe that I can bring them $100,000, that's 10 times the value. So of course it makes sense to pay me $10,000 because of the value I can bring to them. So you gotta start thinking, how can you add value to people? How can you add value to business? What kind of skill set can add massive value and can bring massive revenue to businesses? It is really not hard to make $10,000 a month actively. The problem is that people are always trying to search for a shiny object and trying to make that 10,000 passive. If you have the right skill set, this is easy. But you have to work at it for 3 to 5 years. And this is where most people missed it. They work on a skill set for 3 months and then they jump to another thing and then another thing, and they keep chasing the new shiny objects and the new way to make money. And here's something that I've learned over my past 13 years, that there will always be a new way to make money. There will always be an endless new way to make money. You just need to ignore them and focus on your 1 to 2 skill set. Everything else is a distraction. If you want to be a master at a certain skill set, it is said online that you need to invest 10,000 hours into that skill set, practicing that craft. So if you want to master something and you work at that one thing for 8 hours a day, it will still take you 1,250 days to get 10,000 hours. And that is about 4 to 5 years if you exclude weekends and holidays, and that is 3 years if you work every day without a day off. This is the reason why I say that $10,000 is actually really simple, just that most people don't even choose to put in that 3, 4, 5 years to master something. Now for me, I choose to focus copywriting and paid advertising. That's it. For the last 5 years, I choose to ignore everything else and just spend 80% of my time focusing on all this. I do spend 20% on other things, but the 20% on other things is just a way for me to bring more value into copywriting and paid advertising. So that's just it. I focus on that for the past 5 years, nearly 8 hours every single day, excluding weekends. And this is the reason why even if I give up all my business and my agency today, I can still do freelance work and businesses will still pay me $100,000 to write and launch their ad campaign because of the value I can bring. So if I want to make $10,000 a month, I just need about 1 to 2 solid clients a year. So some of you might be saying, Gabriel, I'm not like you, I can't be confident enough to charge my clients $100,000. So let's say you only can achieve 10% of what I've achieved in 3 to 5 years, and you spend the same 3 to 5 years to achieve only 10% of what I can achieve, and you start charging clients $10,000 instead of $100,000. Still, you need about 10 clients a year. That's not a lot, which is the reason why I say that this is actually very possible. And don't give any excuse that you have no money and you have no resources to learn that skill set. When I first started out, I was broke, and that was because of a reset in my life. I was not just broke, I was in debt. And what I did was that because I had no money to pay for courses whatsoever, I simply go on Facebook and YouTube and I study real ads. I look at what ads is getting my attention, I will save down these ads, and I'll look through word by word, line by line, every single copywriting. I'll ask myself, why is this copywriting there? Why is this sentences there? Why is this person saying this? And why is this person saying that? And I broke it down, trying to understand how this ad works and how it attracted my attention. And when I started making some money, then I invested that money into books, which only cost $10 to $20. If you don't have $10 to $20 to invest in yourself, but you have money for Starbucks or iPhone, then it's no wonder you're broke, because you have to reorganize your priorities. Step 3, which is one of the most important thing which I didn't do in my first few years of my career, is to live like a poor man. See, once you have achieved that $10,000 a month, which you could take about 3 to 4, 5 years to get it, if you work on one thing consistently, now is the time to live like a poor man until you have reached your retirement goal. See, the goal here is to be rich, not just to look rich. There are a lot of BS that we buy just to make ourselves look significant and important. If you keep your expenses low, and let's say you just spend $3,000 per month, if you have no kids, no family to take care of, $3,000 per month is already considered high. And because you make $10,000 a month, you can invest 70% of your income, that's about $7,000 a month, and that's about $84,000 a year. So now you can invest $84,000 a year and add this consistently into your retirement savings. And then grow that savings and grow that investment by at least 20% a year, which is entirely possible. There are many investment books and YouTube channels that you can learn investing from. You can watch from my previous video on how to read a book a day and how to learn anything faster. I'll put the link somewhere here because I believe it will come in handy. 20% a year is entirely possible. The common question that I usually get asked is, why does most investors only get 5 to 10% a year, and is 20% a year really possible? See, most investors get about 5 to 10% a year because they are on a wealth preservation mode. There's wealth accumulation stage and wealth preservation stage. Usually during wealth accumulation stage, you are considered still young and you usually can afford to take more risk, and therefore getting 20% or higher a year is possible. Now, wealth preservation is when you are usually in your 50s and your 60s, you want to take lesser risk because you want more certainty. So people like Warren Buffett are more on the wealth preservation side, yet he's still getting 20% a year. So don't be stupid and settle for less and go for wealth preservation when you are still young and when you have nothing to preserve yet. So let's get back to the numbers. If you invest $7,000 per month, $84,000 a year, and grow at 20% a year compounded, it will take you about 6 years to turn that money into $1.2 million. You can use any compound interest calculator you find online to know that I'm not saying some BS. So if you spend the first 3 to 4 years to learn how to make $10,000 a month and then invest 70% of the income, keep your expenses low, and live like a poor person for another 6 years, you are potentially going to get $1.2 million, which now you can lower your risk of your investment and live by a 10%. 5% as expenses and 5% compounded back into your retirement funds to cover for inflation. That 5% from $1.2 million will give you $5,000 per month, and congratulations, you are now retired with all your needs covered. you have no boss, you have no demand, and you can do anything you want. Now here's the thing, I know many people who are retired living comfortably without actually building big multi-million dollar businesses. They just kept their heads down, they keep working on one thing until that one thing can pay them a high income, and then they live like a poor man and invest. An example will be a friend of a friend. I can't tell you exactly who he is, but all I know is that this guy, he was working as a consultant doing freelance work. And he makes about $10,000 a month after being consultant for at least 3 to 4 years. And then he just lived like a poor man. Basic car, basic house. He don't even buy the house. He just rent a small apartment. And he invests 70% of his income into Ethereum for the past nearly 10 years. Now his net worth is about 9-figure range. He didn't build any multi-million dollar businesses, didn't earn hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, make $10,000 a month, live like a poor person, just kept investing in one thing for the last 10 years. Now, not many of us will find the next Bitcoin or the next Ethereum, but the lesson is still the same. If you follow this 3-step and start this journey in your early 20s, you will be in your 30s, or if you started later, your 40s, by the time you retire. When you retire and have all your needs covered at your 30s to 40s, you still have decades ahead of you to do whatever you want. And then you can explore more wealth creation, take more risks as long as you don't touch your retirement fund because it is the golden goose. Do not ever kill your golden goose. As long as your needs are covered, you can take all the risks you want with the additional money and explore whatever you want. Now, unfortunately, I was chasing shiny objects and chasing easy money, and I had a reset 5 years ago. If not, I would probably be way ahead right now and retired now. But in this 5 years, with what I've just told you, I was still able to build a retirement sum enough for me to really not work a single day if I do not want to, if I simply lower down my expenses to a $5,000-$10,000 range. So that's it. You don't need to build multi-million dollar businesses, you don't need to be super smart and super talented. So in summary, all you gotta do is number 1, calculate your retirement sum, and based on a 5% amount that can give you enough money to cover your needs, not your want. Step 2, keep your head down, work on at least 1 or 2 skill sets and aim to at least achieve a $10,000 to $20,000 per month actively, not chase some passive income BS. And number 3, live like a poor man, invest 50 to 70% of your income and don't buy stupid shit. Today I've learned my lesson and I've invested 89% of my income every single month. So if you spend 3 to 4 years to work on a high income skill set and then invest 70% of it for the next 6 to 7 years, you'll be retired with all your needs covered within 10-year period. I hope you have gained something from this straightforward video, and if you have, please remember to give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And let me know what are your thoughts. If you think this is possible, this is not possible to follow, is it really possible to achieve $10,000 a month, or if any questions you have, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. I'll be reading every single one and I'll be replying every single one of them. So that's it. That's all I have for you today. Bye for now.